Today I fucked up by accidentally causing 5 children to be bullied for the rest of their lives. This happened years ago, but it still haunts me. Some backstory. Me and my best friend were ruthlessly uncool when we were 15. Not in the, oh, they're a bit quirky, kind of way, but in the, oh, they're autistic, only watch anime and listen to K-pop. Let's dump their clothes in the PE locker room toilet, kind of way. Because of this, we thrived on academic validation and spent most of our time hiding in the school library, avoiding all human interaction. One day, during one of these library hangouts, we found Sweden's largest baby name website. It let you see the meaning of a name, plus stats on how many people had it. On the front page was a list of recently searched names and a separate one for the most searched names this month. For fun, we decided to search for a completely ridiculous name no one could possibly have, think something along the lines of Gorp or Poopy. To our surprise, 2 people in Sweden did have that name. Naturally, we decided to make this our new hobby, spamming that name's search over and over during all of our breaks so it would always be on both the recently searched and the most popular names this month lists on the front page. We kept this up for 2 months straight. No sleep, no social interaction, only spamming. Then we moved on to a new hyperfixation. I think this was around the start of our haiku phase, and completely forgot about it. Fast forward 5 years. We're older, less depressed, and actually have friends. We suddenly remembered our Gorp bit and decided to revisit the website. That's when we saw it. There were now 7 people in Sweden with that name. Unless there was a sudden influx of Danish people with ugly names, the only explanation is that our bit actually worked. So yeah, if you're Swedish, born around 2015, and your name is ugly, I'm sorry. Too long did not read. When I was 15, my friend and I spammed a Swedish baby name site with a ridiculous name as a joke so it stayed on the front page. 5 years later, there are 5 more kids in Sweden with that name and it's probably our fault. You're not really sorry. You just wrote this post in the hope it will blow up, and then even more Swedish kids will be named Gorp and Poopy. IKEA will make a full living room set from those names. If their parents were naming their kids off what was popular on a website like that, you probably saved them from being named Khaleesi or Viseries or something. 5 bullied for the rest of their lives. I told Enid Blyton to stop writing about those kids. That's not my name is Bort. The Gorp army grows. My cat's name is Gorp. I live in Sweden. Why did you do this to us? Today I fucked up by underestimating the effect of acid. In case it is needed. Trigger warnings for the use of psychedelics. Hoo boy, this is a first for me. Today I fucked up by underestimating how potent even derivatives of acid can be. Technically the fuck up started yesterday. In the country I am in there is a derivative of LSD, called 1S-LSD available for legal purchase. Me, being the usual idiot I usually am, decides to buy a few of these blots. Having no idea how it is supposed to work, except from some very small internet myth knowledges, gives me the bright idea of just buying the strongest blots available, 150 mg. Now for the real dumb part. Yesterday at a late afternoon I decided to try these out. What's the harm after all? Not like the day after was a work day, isn't it? It is? Shit. However, surely I was intelligent enough to use only one to see how it goes, right? Right? Hell no, I popped the first one. Decide I don't really feel anything strong or weird going on after 10 minutes so I pop another 2 blots, just a mere 3h before bedtime. Now on to the effects. Yesterday was actually quite nice. A bit giggly, filled with happy thoughts and nice webtoons. Then the night came. During the night I felt like I sweated out at least 2 liters of water and peed at least another 3. Constant feelings of sweating, hotness coupled with feeling incredibly cold, almost freezing. Constantly having to go to the toilet and to drink water. When my eyes are closed I can literally see a flash going off as the electricity connects from one neuron to another. As I woke up, realized it was morning, I also realized a slight problem. 1. Whatever was having a lot of fun in my head last night still has a lot of fun in my head right now. 2. It is 7 in the morning, I need to get to work. 3. I am most certainly not in any position to drive a car, even just driving myself could be hard. 4. I have a position in senior management and no one can find out that I am still high on a triple dose. So I decided to take public transport to my workplace. And I gotta say, shame I don't do that more often. It was a beautiful walk with great scenery and everything would have been totally lovely if only I didn't have to go to work now, could just enjoy the outside. Also if the cold sweats stopped, but slowly I am starting to live with them. They feel like drinking a lot of caffeine. Usually though I need about 2 to 3 liters of energy drinks in an hour to get this sweaty. During work I imagine myself to have done this all very suave. I am quite sure no one noticed a thing yet and the day is almost over. Although I am sure holes in my wall sometimes blink if I don't focus on them for a bit. Not too sure about the customer support tickets I have managed today though. I think they are secretly refilling my inbox with the same emails, just with a different pseudonym. I am now 19 hours into this trip. It took me a bit to calculate the exact amount of hours, but using my fingers helped me greatly just now. Too long did not read. Took a triple dose of an acid derivative and had to go to work while still high. I am sure no one suspects a thing. On the upside, gained a newfound enjoyment of nature on the way to public transport. If anyone asks, you just took a new allergy medication. You should have used a sick day. Also, general rule with drugs, don't take more because the initial dose did nothing immediately. Wait more than 10 minutes. Yeah, don't do that. It can take up to 3/4 of an hour to kick in based on your digestive system and other stuff. Although going to work is pretty heroic. Maybe just IDK make up literally any excuse next time, hahaha. Edit. Oh no, I meant micrograms, not milligrams. Taking a triple dose of an LSD derivative and trying to function at work is a disastrous lesson in underestimating the power of psychedelics. If you're still tripping at work, maybe the universe is testing if you can handle a promotion while hallucinating your coworkers or sentient plants. And somehow still make small talk. Today I fucked up by telling lies about remembering 9/11. This was not _today_ but I remember it very regularly and today it came to mind again. So, I was about 8 when I first learned about 9/11. I'm not from the US, so it wasn't something we talked about much in school, and until then I'd never even heard of it. One day in September, personally, I assume it was on the exact day, just about a decade later, given the news report of it that day, 9/11 was shown in the news, talking about what happened then. I asked my grandpa about it. He told me how he'd seen it on TV way back when it happened. It was afternoon where we live, and he described watching the news. He also told me that most people remember where they were that day or when they found out about it. Well, I remember walking outside afterward, into the big empty fields next to my house, and just thinking. Little 8-year-old me stood there, contemplating life, imagining my grandparents sitting in their living room, watching TV. Here's the thing. My child brain didn't really separate the day I learned about something from the day it actually happened. In my mind, the memory of standing in that field was the day 9/11 happened. So for literal years afterward, if someone mentioned 9/11, I would confidently say, oh yeah, I remember where I was when that happened. And I did remember, except I was remembering the day I learned about it, several years after it happened, and also after I was born. No one corrected me for the longest time. In the end a teacher did, in front of the class. Now, every so often, I remember me solemnly recounting my memory of 9/11 to people who absolutely knew I wasn't alive then, and I want to crawl into the nearest hole and stay there forever. Too long did not read. I told people I remember where I was when 9/11 happens, even though I wasn't even alive then. Not sure if you needed to emphasize that 2001 is way back. That is hilarious, honestly, tears of joy, tears of joy. This is actually a pretty common phenomenon for kids. Happens to the best of us, kid brains mix up timelines all the time. No big deal. It's okay, your entire life can be a cutting reminder to those of us who lived through that day, and do remember that it is long enough ago now that full-grown ass adults exist who have only ever known what we call a post-9/11 world. LMAO, kid logic really does create wild memories.